Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Libra. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with a Thoth deck, and then we're going to pull 3 cards from the Shadow deck to see if there's any confirmations or background energies or emotions or anything else we need to see that didn't come through in the main reading. So let's just see what happens. Alright, so let us channel the energy of Libra today. So if that is your sun, your moon, your rising, however that fits into your chart, you can use that as a way to sort of help color this message today. And my job here is to just tell you my interpretation of what I see in these cards. So if it doesn't fit with you, if you disagree with any of the things I'm saying, don't try to make it fit. Always use your judgment and your intuition. And if it doesn't fit at all, you can always look at one of your other placements, or you can just stick around and see what's going on in the world of Libras today. Okay. And if there's any messages that come through in these cards, as I have them laid out on the table, something I don't mention directly, but something that sort of resonates with you, of course, use your intuition to get whatever messages that you need to receive from this reading. At the very least, I hope that you enjoy this experience and just be receptive to whatever comes through, okay? So I hope you're having a good day so far. I hope you've had a good morning. If you're watching this in the morning, I hope your day goes well. If you're watching this in the evening or the afternoon, I hope that the part of your day you've seen so far has been enjoyable. And I hope this just brings a little bit more positivity or, some enjoyment or something, some clarity, whatever you're looking for from this video. I hope you are able to find it. So let us now see if there are any messages or anything we can receive or understand that is important to know for anyone with the sign of Libra. Okay. Let's maybe do one more, get a good shuffle on this, and then we'll see what cards come through and try to interpret the message. All right. That felt pretty good. All right. Yeah, that feels good. All right. Let's do one little more. Just a little bit. There we go. All right, let's see if that little extra juice was something good. All right, well, look at that. We start with the Fool. That's a fantastic place to start. Open to whatever new is about to unfold. Anything can happen. We are just open to whatever is about to be presented to us. So let's see, well, Libra, what is about to be presented to you? Okay, defeat, not the greatest thing to have presented to you, but at least you have a good attitude towards it. So you're in a spirit of whatever happens. Let's put some context to what's going on here. So we have a 2 of Wands. We have the Aeon. That's very nice. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the 5 of Cups. The Knight of Discs. The 8 of Wands. The Moon. And the Star. Oh, this looks nice. Okay, this is nice. Let's see what we get here. So we're going to see what's on the other side of this deck after we go through the rest of the cards here on the table. This will represent what we don't see coming, so some kind of surprise or something to sort of color what we get after we look at what this entire spread is sort of saying just on face value. So let's just do a quick count to see what we've got here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana, so that's a pretty good set of arcana there. Major arcana. In terms of court cards, it looks like we've got 1, 2, we've got 1 Knight of Cups and a Knight of Discs. So we've got some nice, powerful, in charge of the situation kind of energy to kind of contrast the Fool here. In terms of our suits here, we've got 1, 2 from the suit of Wands, so 2 cards of fire energy. For cups, we've got 1, 2, just 2 for cups as well, so 2 water energy. Earth energy, let's see, we've got just the Knight of Discs is all I'm seeing here. And in terms of air energy, we have the 1 card from the 5 of Swords, from the suit of Swords there. So definitely a little more leaning towards the fire and water side, which is not bad. We have a little bit of everything. This is pretty balanced. So let's get a sense of what is going on here, Libra, with your situation or whatever this message is for you. So as I said, we're opening here with the Fool. Always a nice way to open up any reading. It's in the present moment, you are receptive and open to whatever is happening. It's not clear where the context, when I first drew this card, it's not clear if this is a response to something or a sort of attitude of what you want to do next. That's what the rest of this is going to tell us. But in the moment, you are open to whatever happens. You are the Fool. You are sort of a childlike innocence to whatever is being presented to me. I'm going to openly accept it and see where it takes me. And it looks like what is crossing you is defeat. We have the Five of Swords. So there's usually some notion of deception or trickery. This is not typically a very positive card. It's a card where, whether in the mental realm or in your physical realm, you have met with some sort of opposition and you have not come out victorious. But perhaps the energy of the Fool is approaching this sort of confidently, not in a sort of let's face this head on and attack it kind of energy, but facing it head on with, okay, this is what is going to happen. I'm going to roll with the punches and just, let's see what happens from here. And for this to have been preceded by the Two of Wands, this is a card that's usually signifying the beginning of some kind of journey or some sort of process where you've got a choice to be made, that you're going to set out on some kind of endeavor and see where it's going to take you. It's a fiery energy of like the first day of a new vacation or a journey, some sort of path that you're going to be is being presented to you, and you have to choose how you're going to navigate through that. And I think you are openly accepting whatever this situation is with this Fool energy and being met with obstacles that are setbacks for sure. But having the idea of approaching this with Fool energy is sort of a nice way to sort of be nimble and able to sort of navigate whatever bad things are going to be presented to you. I think if you're going on some sort of long journey or going through some process, that's a very constructive way to sort of grow and learn. And in the near future, sort of what is the sort of outcome in the timeline of this story is the Aeon. This is the end of some sort of era that's coming to an end. So it seems like this is probably some adventure. Maybe this is representing a life path or a particular situation you've been recently on. It's not clear how wide of a scope we're talking here, but in some setting, you've begun some journey, you've been met with opposition, and you are sort of, like water, just letting it run off of you. I mean, it's air energy, but the metaphor is, you just let the water sort of roll off of you as you move through this path. And taking this attitude is going to help you get from point A to point B, which will eventually be the closing of whatever this situation is. So I see this journey as being, maybe this is a meditative experience, like sort of symbolically, it could be like, I'm going to go out into the desert and I'm going to meditate on, where my life is going, where it's been, and just sort of try to find yourself, a vision quest sort of thing. And when you do these types of quests, you're usually met with negative energy. You're met with energy that is, where are my failings? Where do I need to strengthen myself? Where have I gone wrong? And how can I improve upon that? And I think taking that sort of path is going to lead you to really nice, positive things in the end, because once you identify what your own personal shortcomings are, this allows you to grow above them and open up a new chapter of your life. So again, I think I see this as being a sort of maybe a self-discovery journey, not necessarily a physical one, but setting out on this path to really find yourself, see what fuels you, openly embracing the good and the bad as it comes. You're met with some negativity, but taking that sort of fool-like approach and accepting your pros and your cons is going to allow you to open up a new era for your life. So that's really nice. In terms of here, our vertical axis, this is sort of what's happening internally to you. So this is sort of on the timeline. This is what is sort of happening maybe emotionally or energetically for you. This is what's happening in your unconscious energy. This is sort of your thoughts that are underneath you that are sort of propelling you forward from inside or from behind. And you have the Knight of Cups. This is a person who is very in control of their emotions. They're sensitive, but they're not ruled by their emotions. They are able to feel things and let them affect them, but not necessarily have those emotions be what pulls them forward. So I think you've got this sort of passionate drive to sort of understand yourself and better yourself. And maybe the defeats that are coming here are coming from taking sort of stock of the feelings that are inside of you and those what the things that sort of emotionally resonate with you. And not all of them are positive. Of course, you're going to feel good things, you're going to feel bad things, and some of those negative feelings may be something that's going to hurt you. But as long as you are receptive to the things that you're feeling, you let yourself process them and get through those negative experiences, they're going to help you get through this journey. Now, at the top here, we have a card like the Five of Swords. Another not as happy card here is the Five of Cups. Now, again, every card has both a good and a bad, a light and a shadow sort of side to it. So, I mean, the positive part of meeting this defeat with the Five of Swords is that it allows you to sort of, you're getting cut on these little daggers that you're finding as you're sort of flowing through your thoughts and feelings. You're letting the Knight of Cups sort of guide you through the experiences and how they make you feel. And sometimes those little cuts hurt, but those cuts can heal back over and they can become stronger. Now, not only are you potentially going to get through the brambles of this as you sort of traverse your thoughts and your feelings internally, you're going to uncover ideas and beliefs and feelings that are maybe not the best sort of foundations for progressing forward. So perhaps the Five of Cups is a card here that is representing, it's the card of disappointment. So maybe you had some sort of built up feelings towards something, maybe some attachments that you felt very strongly about that were guiding you forward. It's crowning this whole situation here, and it's something that's sort of looming above you that you are sort of navigating towards as you're getting through your life. And perhaps not all of those cups were necessarily good cups for you. They're cups, they're filled with things, but what are those cups filled with? Is everything in those cups necessarily something positive and happy and good for you? Maybe you are holding on to some feelings that are sort of toxic. Maybe you're holding on to feelings that, although at the time when you filled that cup with those emotions, they felt really good and powerful and good for you, but maybe as you're progressing through your life and reflecting on who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do, maybe some of those cups are filled with things that they should not be filled with anymore. And you see here in the card, it almost looks like, these flowers here, they almost look like stuff that is flying out of these cups. And maybe that's part of what the Knight of Cups is here to do, is to come here and say, let's look at this. Let's look at our feelings. Let's look at what is happening inside of our heart. And let's take stock of what is in these cups. Let's empty the ones that are not serving us. Maybe there's a few cups that are already empty that need to be filled with other better things. And so he is here sort of like the janitor or the caretaker that is inside of you and trying to inspect and maybe clean out some of the dirt and grime that's in some of those empty cups so that they can be filled later, And so maybe, again, this is another part of what's happening with this air energy of these swords, is that you're looking at the imperfections of the things inside of you that you're filling up and maybe trying to help sort of clean them up. If there's a little chips that have gotten put into these cups from these swords, little cracks and scratches, maybe we can polish those up, clean them up, fill them with better things. And that, I think, is what is happening in this journey. You're being open to looking at the positive and the negative inside of you, and you're using that as a way to figure out, well, how can I tidy up, my kitchen set here? If I'm going to have a dinner party, I want to make sure that everything looks nice and pretty. I want my fine china to have its best gleam. So let's do good hard work and realistically evaluate the state of things so we can clean them up. And then when we present these cups to the rest of the world and we're receptive to all the things outside of us, we can open ourselves up to a whole new era of positive fulfillment. So that's what I'm seeing is happening over here. So let's see now here on the right side what is on this timeline here. Here at the bottom, this is your present general energy, and we have the Knight of Discs. So the Knight of Cups is all about emotions and being in control of those and being receptive and being able to sort of navigate and be in command of our feelings. The Knight of Discs is doing the same thing but in the world of the physical. Maybe this is someone who is, they're sort of a visionary, they're an entrepreneur. This is someone who has great ideas about how to navigate the world and create and be in charge and manage things in a very nice, constructive way that can be sort of a leader for other people to rally around with whatever project or work that they're trying to do. So perhaps you are a person who is in charge of those around them, that is some sort of manager type position, or maybe you're the boss of the situation, or maybe you're working with a team, or you're on some project and you're the idea guy who has to figure out how to make all of that stuff actually happen in the real world. So you and your team have to get together and make things happen. And maybe that's what sparks this sort of internal dialogue here, is if I want to make these things happen in the real world, I have to figure out how to keep my internal world cleaned up and tidy, so that when I present myself, other people will understand what I'm saying, they'll appreciate what I'm trying to do, and they'll be more receptive to your ideas and the things you put out there. So you're doing a sort of internal cleaning so that you can be the better person outside of you that's able to fix and build and construct and lead. And I think that's what's happening here in your present energy. This is your environment. This is the Eight of Wands. This is the card of swiftness. This is speed, fast. You know, when you see this card, it means that whatever is around it, whatever it's related to, is going to happen quickly, maybe even chaotically. You see here we have all of these wands going in different directions, and it's sort of, maybe that's your job as the Knight of Discs, is to come in and notice all of this passion and this power. You know, you have all of these people that you're working with that all have their own strengths, and they're all trying to have their own vision sort of be what the project is pushed towards, and you need to be here to come in and pull all of this fast moving energy together and channel it into something constructive that can get whatever it is you need to get done accomplished in an orderly fashion. I mean, this is also a card of communication, so maybe there's a lot of people who have all these different ideas and they all can work together, but it's not immediately clear how that's going to work unless you come in and figure out how to help this situation come together. And you can't really do that if you internally are kind of all over the place. So I think you're doing this internal inventory so you can get a better understanding of what you want to accomplish and what you want to do, so that you can better lead and pull together all of these other people that are around you who are trying to do all these other different things. So, right, I mean, that definitely feels like a good reason to want to do this sort of exercise. So here, and I think this goes nicely with what we have so far, in what you don't want and what you're afraid of and what you're worried about, is the moon. This is the unknown. This is the darkness. This is when you're traveling around at night and you don't have a torch to light your way. You're just walking around in the darkness. You know, there's dangers out there. There could be wild beasts out there that can attack you. There can be pitfalls. You could fall in a hole or something. You know, you don't know what's out there. So you're in this situation where I think you're a leader and you're trying to pull everyone together, and deep down you know that I don't really know where this is going. And again, I think that's part of what motivates this sort of doing this inventory of yourself, is if you don't necessarily know where you're going, you can at least try to figure out how you feel about things and clean up your thoughts so that you are able to better navigate other people through this darkness. I mean, that's sort of a secret, right? No one really knows what they're doing. They're just sort of making their best guess. And if you want to be able to make your best guess, you have to be open and receptive to what you're experiencing, and being able to use your intuition and your knowledge together to help navigate other people through this chaotic, dark period. And you're worried about it, which is why I think you're putting in the work to figure out, well, how do I figure out what best to do next? And I think that work is going to pay off, because here we have the star at the top of everything. This is in the darkness. The only light we have is the moon. And the moon is not what we are necessarily traveling towards, other than it is sort of this beacon of light above us as we try to get through these two towers that we're trying to get through. You know, we're kind of like this beetle that's carrying this light, this idea, this whatever this project is that you're working on. This is you trying to get through the other side of this dark corridor to get to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And I think what navigates you through this darkness is not necessarily the mystery and the emotions of the moon. I think you're doing the work over here to kind of better understand this internal moon energy by clarifying your thoughts. But where you're really going in the future is you're headed towards the star. You have some sort of divine guidance that is telling you this is the way to go. This is what you need to be doing. This is how you need to be progressing through this situation. And by following that star, you're going to get to the other side of this darkness. You're not going to be misled by your emotions, this moon energy, because you're going to take the time to clean up your feelings and get a sense of what it is that you're really working towards. And you're going to open up this new era by following that star and figuring out where you need to go. So that's really nice. I really like that. So let's see what we don't see coming. More air energy. The Four of Swords. So this is a card of sort of slowing down and resting and sort of reevaluating in a calm, sort of restful state what the ideas are that are maybe troubling us. You know, if you're in some kind of war or conflict, this is the card of truce, where you're taking stock of what you've been doing, what has not worked, and how to maybe navigate as we progress forward. I think this, again, goes with the work that we're doing here, because I think what is maybe happening as you're progressing through this search of self-discovery, you're met with defeat, and there's this extra painful sword, and you're going to maybe pull that sword out of your chest and sort of rest and say, like, okay, let's channel this Fool energy of openness. Let's let the Knight of Cups help me clean the wound, you know, maybe put a little bit of water on that, wash it out, and let's rest, recover. You may not necessarily be ready to see what this intense sort of restful period is going to look like when we get here, but if you take the time to sort of rest, recover, and recuperate from whatever this defeat was, you're going to be able to follow your star clearly, and you're going to be able to open yourself up to this next eon of your journey. So yeah, that's really nice. Let us now see what we get from the shadow deck. So we're going to pull 3 cards from here and see what they tell us. Okay, so let's see what we get. Let's do another quick shuffle. So we're going to pull 3 cards and see if there's any confirmations or sort of hidden emotions that are that need to come to the surface in this situation. So again, we're worried about the moon, so I have a feeling this is going to give us a little bit more confirmation or idea of what it is that we're sort of worried about in the darkness. Okay, so here we have the Page of Cups, we have the Devil, and we have the Five of Cups. So again, we have the Five of Cups again. I think that you are going to be in this situation where you are going to be taking stock of how you're feeling about things to help you become a better equipped leader to push other people forward, and you're worried about it, right? It's what propels you forward is this disappointment. It's what's sort of looming over you, but again, you've got the Knight of Cups here to sort of come in and clean up the mess that's left behind when some of these cups are spilled in this sort of self-discovery process, and again, it's going to lead you to better days ahead when you get past this sort of self-reflective period and are able to then take back this leadership role. And helping the Knight of Cups, we have here the Page of Cups. This is that sort of childlike creativity where it's, again, a very emotional person. The Page is a little bit more or a little bit less in control of his feelings, but he's also a little bit more wild. I mean, look here, we have what looks like a mermaid man, merman, I guess. Mermaid, well, let's not be gender specific here. We have a mer person, and this is a wild, creative, emotional person who is giving us the similar sort of energy as the Knight, but a little bit more on the wild side. And we see that this is right above the Two of Wands, so perhaps even though it is this kind of energy that we're using to sort of clean up and fix all the damage from our cups, the Page here is representing how we feel as we begin this self-discovery position. Eventually he will become the Knight, but in terms of how you're maybe feeling or experiencing this, at least at the beginning of your journey, it feels much more chaotic and wild. And as you go on this journey of self-discovery, I think we see here the person that is bringing the defeat is the Devil. This is a person who is trying to show you your own doubts and put them in front of you in a discouraging way that says, stop, don't keep growing, don't keep progressing forward. You were defeated, turn around, go back home, embrace this Five of Cups, and just admit failure and end it, not end it, but like in this journey of exploration. Stop trying to grow, stay where you are, and stay comfortable. Don't let the Knight of Cups come in and clean everything up. But I think the Knight is going to overcome the Devil here. At least I hope for you this Knight is able to overcome the Devil, because the Devil, he doesn't really trap you. He just tricks you into feeling trapped. He convinces you that you're trapped. But if you are able to use this Knight of Cups energy to be in control of things and also have the sort of openness and freedom of the Fool, you're going to be able to get around that devil, and you're going to be able to overcome these feelings of loss and disappointment and discouragement. And you're going to need to take that time to heal and get through them, but then you're going to be able to come back into your power, lead those people through those dark situations, and guide them to the desired conclusion of whatever this project is. So that's good. What we don't see coming here is the Hanged Man. Again, more of this restful, waiting energy. Perhaps, again, what you do not see coming, what I see from both of these cards, is an idea that as you are doing this process of self-discovery, you're going to uncover things that you maybe were not ready to handle. I think you're equipped to handle them, but don't rush. Take the time to look at them openly and process them, look at them from all directions, and integrate those failures into your future endeavors so that you can then use what does and what doesn't work as fuel to help you be a good, strong leader that can help tie together all of this chaos around you and channel it in a constructive way so that you can reach that star that you're really going for. So this was really nice. This was a really good reading. I hope this helps you, Libra. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time.